living up to the society's expectations. This quote has always got to me. When one starts trying to satisfy everyone's expectations, where is the living then? So I definitely say that one can never live a satisfactory life if the person starts trying to satisfy everybody's expectation. This is just like digging for a treasure without a proper guide. You keep putting your efforts to no avail because the more we strive to satisfy the society, only the bar of expectations increases and we keep losing our confidence and happiness in this run. Also, there are days when we feel extremely low and worthless. This is the plight of even the most successful individual in the world. What must we do in such times? Either let the feelings just flow and gather ourselves later, or put an end to such feelings abruptly and be the best version of ourselves, or at least pretend to be so. Hypothetical, right? Welcome. You are listening to Wominspiria, the podcast which is ranked among the top 3 podcasts in India on self-love and motivation. This is your podcast where you listen to the stories of our fellow humans who are facing and raising above the bar they set for themselves and never give up to a new day of hope and perseverance. And I'm Revati, your host, who brings to you the gems of stories to get motivated and see the ray of light called life. We are today catching up with Madhoo Shah, who of course doesn't need an introduction, since for her, her work, her talent and consistency speaks. Let's get to know from her that how despite her busy schedule is she balancing her family, relationships and of course the society's expectations, and yet stands as an inspiration to many for almost 3 decades now. So welcome, and it's my honor to welcome Madhoo ma'am to my podcast today. Thank you very much, Madhoo ma'am, for gracing my podcast today.
Revati, thank you for inviting me to chat with you. I feel very happy because I've heard your podcast and I think it's a lovely one to be a part of. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I don't feel like I'm repeating this again and again. It's indeed my pleasure and my honor to have you here. So to begin with, you know the drill, ma'am. When I start the podcast, I ask you the 2 affirmations that you say to your mirror every morning, ma'am.
Okay. I have to tell you, it's very easy for me to answer this very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But you will only get the real meaning of what I'm about to say if you know a little bit about my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I am an actor, right? You know, I've been an actress and I am an actress and all of that.
Yes.
And I've always seen myself as an actress. As a young girl, that was my dream. And then I became one and all of that. But somehow, my mirror was not my friend.
Okay.
Whenever I saw myself in the mirror, I could never see the good in me.
Okay.
And I always saw what was not okay in me.
Okay.
So this is how I started my life. And my journey, of understanding and having lived thus far, now my mirror has become my best friend.
Okay.
And I have become my best friend. So when I see myself in the mirror, the first thing in the morning when I go into the washroom and I splash the water on my face, I look at myself and I genuinely see myself smiling at me. And it's like I'm talking to me and I say nice things to myself. The mirror says good things to me.
Yes.
And I say good things to myself. I'm like, wow, you feel well today. Yes. You look well today. Well done, Madhoo. You've done well yesterday and today. So yes. I feel the conversation with myself, with my mirror, is so beautiful today. Yes. And this is so special for me because for most of my life, my mirror was not my best friend. It was not my ally. Okay. So today it is. And that is a wonderful feeling of the journey that I have undergone.
Yes, so I must say that you have evolved with your mirror.
Yeah, I consider I consider the girl in the mirror as my best friend.
That's beautiful. Okay, ma'am. So moving forward, as you said, you're a very active woman. I can quote you as a human being, but you know the taboo that is running in the society and the pressure that a woman has to face. that she has to prioritize her so-called priorities, called as family, children, chores, and then get to her so-called profession. There are days when we feel exhausted. How are you keeping up to the so-called active standards? And what keeps you motivated throughout?
The thing is, at every stage of your life, you have to prioritize what's most important.
Yes.
And what I've realized is time management is the greatest skill that one can acquire, practice, and come into the know-how of.
Yes.
Because, there are many things I want to do. And but you have to know what is the most important thing that has to be done in that moment and on that day.
Exactly.
Once you have the clarity of that, then when you let go of certain things, it doesn't hurt you too bad. So the reason I took a long sabbatical and I didn't continue my profession is because every time I stepped out of my house, I used to have the guilt syndrome. Yes. Leaving my children behind, or maybe leaving my husband behind to deal with the children, which he was sometimes, not capable of doing or not happy doing. And if I was out and if my house was not well looked after with my children and my family, then I did not feel happy where I was. And I think happiness is the barometer. Like when you're at peace with yourself, wherever you are, I think that's the place to be. I know. I also say that at the same time, I also say getting out of comfort zone takes you to greater potential and greater success. But, to know that wisdom, to know the difference, that when you have to put yourself in discomfort and when you know that you have to be at peace with yourself is very important. Yes. So the reason I did not work for many years was because my home and my children were very, very important. Yes. And as they became older, slowly and surely, and they started developing their own world of friends and schoolwork and uni work, and now they've even gone to uni. Okay. So now I'm doing following my passion wholeheartedly with no guilt. Okay. But it did not happen on day one or year one. Yes. It took me a long time to get here, and I don't regret a single day or a single time when I chose my children over my work. Yes. And today when I'm standing in my work, I have the support of my family, my children, and everybody is around me rooting for me. And that means that I have done something right, and I've followed the right path. Okay. So I know what you asked me. You asked me if you're active, how do you do all of it? Yes. Nobody can do all of it at the same time. Yes. But everyone can do all of it one by one. Yes. Yes. Okay. Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, again, I'm asking you the same question again. So, more than anything, people see you as an actress, right? So, you can be a philanthropist, you're a social worker, you're voicing out for women. But then, at the end of the day, people call you Madhoo, the actress, right? So, yes. Yes. And so, people have certain expectations. That is what is expected out of an actress. And of course, satisfying and living up to people's expectations is not possible for any person, even for the common woman, I must say. So, how have you survived this journey? And what message do you want to give to the woman who's trying very hard to satisfy the society's expectations? Every woman is like that, right? Yeah. So, it is easier said than done. Yes. The right thing to motivate, the right word would be that you must not care about what the world says and all of that. But you and I both know that we all care about what the world has to say. Yes, right? We are not an island. We live in society, and our success or our whatever our potential is validated by people. Yes. It is people who give you that validation, that I like what you do. And we all as human beings want. Though we strive that we should not be affected by people and their thoughts and their opinions. But we are. That seems to be the nature. Human nature is that we care about what other people think of us. So, and it's a journey for all. It is hard sometimes. People ask you questions like, people don't know, and because if you've chosen a career in the public field, then everyone throws their opinion on you. Everyone has a right because you have come to that platform.
Correct.
It is not fair to say that why do you have an opinion on me? Why don't you not have an opinion on your neighbor? Why do you always have an opinion on me? But the point is, it's not fair to say that to people because we are in the profession where we are presenting ourselves to the public. So the public likes and dislikes is what our profession or our career is.
Yes.
So somewhere what they say and what they do not say and how to satisfy them is a part of my profession. And so there are days which is not easy. When the journalist asks a very truthful but a hard-hitting question, it is difficult to answer. Then when you look at your colleagues who probably have not taken a break and they continue to do well, and sometimes, ambition can also give rise to a lot of envy and jealousy, and you feel that, oh my God, someone else is doing what you really want to do. You have those thoughts.
Yes.
So the only way to neutralize, I would not be honest and truthful if I say that these things never happened to me.
Correct.
If I say that I was never depressed or I was never sad or I was, always upbeat, it will not be my entire truth.
Yes.
The whole thing is that I have felt each and every one of those emotions which are not the positive ones. They are negative. The only thing is I've lived through each of those emotions.
Correct.
And I'm only better. I never, one promise I made to myself is that I will never sidestep the emotion. I will not lie to myself. I will not be delusional. And I will not use any substance like alcohol or etc. to numb myself.
Beautiful.
So I did not use anything to numb myself. If I felt envy, I did feel envy. And I would sit in front of my Lord, in front of my God, and I would say that, God, I don't like this feeling that's coming in me. Please help me not to feel it.
Wow.
And then I have lovely friends and family, human beings. I am loved. So I took great solace in having fun in minute to minute and day to day. My lunches with my friends, my dinners with my family, and sitting together and watching a comedy show and laughing, playing with my children at the park. So that is how I discovered the beauty in the ordinary. Yes. We all think that we have to be famous, we have to be rich, and we have to be liked by thousands and thousands of people to feel good about ourselves. Yes. While that may make us feel good, it may give us a shot of dopamine or, all of that. It may make us feel amazing because every human being likes to feel that he is better than the others. And no profession can give you that high more than an actor's profession. The way you are adulated and adored. It's a great high. But when it doesn't happen, it also gives you the greatest depression. And the counter to that is to create a nice world of true emotions and true love. And then life happens. When movies don't come, doesn't matter. Life doesn't end. And when movies come, I put my best foot forward. And I find great joy in that. So if I say that I never felt it, I never felt the pressure of satisfying the world or people or their opinion, that would not be the truth. But all I can say is that I know that if you live a healthy life, focus yourself, not kill yourself, not self-harm yourself. If there is another day tomorrow that you're going to see, there is more possibilities and greater possibilities will come. And I promise myself that I'll keep myself ready and healthy as much as I can to face a new tomorrow with new possibilities.
Wow. So these are just simple life hacks and you're observing them so nicely. So kudos to you, ma'am. And this is really inspiring. So because to every woman out there who's feeling down and who's thinking that she is not living up to the society's expectations, what you just quoted are something, it's like a mantra that every woman is expected to chant every day to herself, right? So make yourself the first priority. Only then the world will start adoring you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And ambition, today, I told you, our world has evolved. We are all talking about what is your goal going to be? What is your ambition? And I am a very driven person. I've got an ambition and I've got goals. But I've also realized ambitions and goals give birth to a lot of comparisons and envy and jealousy, and always you're in a journey. You never feel that you're in the right place. You always feel that you have to run to somewhere else. So these things can cause a lot of pain. So while you should have your ambition, so it gives you like a direction. Today I'm an actor, so my ambition is, that I should do more movies and maybe do good movies and maybe get an award. So that's the direction.
Correct.
But and you just put your car on that path, and I think you should just enjoy the scenery while driving. Otherwise, you're just at a breakneck speed. You're heading somewhere, never happy. And so these are things that I have slowly. I don't know if I can say it in the past, like discovered or understood, because life is a process. There are still days when some things can trigger a lot of pain. But by and large, I've understood that if you're alive today and if you're healthy today and if your dear ones are there, dekha jayega. Tomorrow will come with a new possibility.
Very true, very true. So, but I believe in this thing a lot, that life itself is an opportunity. So when God has given you that precious opportunity, why are you still complaining and why are you still waiting for some good day to happen? It has begun.
I have, Revati, quickly before I lose this thought, because you brought it, like you said, God has given you, I believe that people ask you, what's your purpose in life?
Correct.
And I read this most beautiful thing somewhere, I can't remember. It says, why are you looking for a purpose all the time? Because God is fulfilling His purpose through you. By giving you birth, He is fulfilling His purpose. So just live your life in the best possible way, and that's your purpose in itself. So, so all the time, we are looking, what is the meaning, what is the purpose? I know those questions are the most spiritual questions. But it has to be done in a very spiritual way. Otherwise, you will lose the moment in which you are, because you're always running to find something which is not at the moment there.
Yes, but it takes a long time for one to realize about this, because everybody is like, if I start realizing, if I start living in the moment, when will I plan for my future? So when there is no present, how can you plan for a future? That's a simple thing, right?
No, see, exactly. That's exactly what, The thing is, like I told you, we have to know where we are, where we are heading, what is the direction we are heading. If you can't tell your children just live in the moment, because they have to study. In the sense, they have to, if they want to be a doctor, they have to do MBBS. And there is but so in the same way, your soul, there is a soul that knows what it is good at, what you like. Automatically it seeks those things, and you train yourself, you hone your skills and keep going. You cannot say that, I'm going to sit on my on the sofa and just see what life happens. We all know we have to do what we have to do, and there is an innate or internal drive that takes you where you want to go. Other than that, it's not nice to use your mind, because today I find that when I was young, I'm talking about the 70s and all, this conversation was, today every podcast or every platform, it's appreciating overachievers. It appreciates drive in human beings. We are motivating people to move forward. We are driving our children. The art of being has gone. We are all going. We are not being. So I realized, like we need the direction. We need to know where we are headed. But we can go there around, say, enjoying the today,
So your life happens in your pace. It's like it doesn't happen according to somebody else's standards. Okay. So again, ma'am, we both are mothers. So your journey, can you give us some of the raw, challenging moments that you had as a mother? So that I'm asking this question with a perspective to just let the poor working moms to understand that being successful doesn't mean that, okay, she's successful, she's a successful artist, her life would have been easy. So if you don't mind, can you give us some of the raw moments, some of the very challenging, like the moments in which you felt like, oh my God, am I being a good mother? So I have friends who complain to me every day that I'm very sure that I'm not a good mother because since I'm working. So what message would you like to convey to them now?
Oh, of course. Every mother must be going through this.
Every day.
Working mother,
yes.
A working mother will be going through this, and a non-working mother will be going. The mother, stay-home mother must be going through this.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel a stay-home mother can be more of a problem than a working mother because you never allow your children to grow up. You are in their hair all the time. How does, so that is also not nice.
Yes.
And a working mother must be feeling, oh my God, I'm not there for my child when I actually should be there in that moment.
Exactly.
So, you cannot escape it.
Yes.
So the good mother is in the intention. Whether you're working for a better future for your children so you can provide better, or you are probably a better role model. Your child will grow up looking at you and say, I have to be a working lady.
Yes.
You don't know. So a working mother has to feel good about herself and explain.
Yes.
Somebody once told me that if your communication with honesty is with your children, then they don't feel bad that you've missed an important day in school or a report day or something that you've missed. If you have communicated correctly to your child, firstly, we have to treat our children like intelligent beings.
Yes.
And you have to treat them as intelligent beings right from the beginning. Not when they are in their 20s and 30s and suddenly you say, oh, now that they've become an adult. No, they understand everything.
Yes.
So if you think you have to be somewhere else and not with them, and they should not feel that sense of abandonment that my mother has abandoned me, you have to somehow communicate to them with emotions or words or touch or whatever, that why it was important for you to be away from them right now and not with them.
Yes.
And they will get it. They are beings, they are human beings, they'll get it. So we have to treat them as human beings, not like babies who don't understand. That is one thing which I learned by making many mistakes. And second of all, to put pressure on them to perform. I think that is wrong. As I told you, every human being has it in them to know because their soul is driving them.
Yes.
The soul tells them what they are good at and where they need to go. You don't need to put pressure on them to excel. Yes. And if you go back to your gentler lives, life in the 70s was very gentle. Yes. We were not told to become superhumans. We were allowed to fail. We would come home with those red marks in our report card and be trashed by our mothers and fathers. We got beaten by them. And then, we were not told that we have to become Einstein.
Yes.
And all of that. Yes. So my brother has been a scholar student right from the beginning. Not once as my father told him. And I failed many times. And suddenly one day I woke up and said, oh my God, I have to perform well in my life. And I pulled up my socks. When my dream flourished in my heart that this is going to be my dream, that I want to be an actor. And I got humiliated by some people in the industry.
Of course.
And then I suddenly realized that I have to train myself to be an actor. I can't descend and say I want to be an actor. And then those 2 years, the way I have worked, I worked for 18 hours to prepare myself as an actor, as a dancer and this and that. So you see, it came from me, it came from inside us.
Yes.
So we have to learn that our children will get their calling from inside.
Correct.
So you don't live your dreams, because today the world, that social media, we know who's doing what in LA, in Hollywood, who is doing which house somebody has got in Bangalore. And we know everything having this one little phone instrument in our hands. And how much pressure that is on a human being. Even on me. When I was an actor in the 90s, I never knew which actor was getting a better role or which actor is so much more busy. I never knew. I was so happy. I was so happy doing the movies that I was doing. But look, today we know. I'm so busy. I haven't been to my home in a month. But I'm still thinking, that actor is doing this. So why are we falling prey? So once we become aware, then we have to, work on ourselves and don't put the pressure on ourselves. And we have to, like somebody asked me, what would you teach your children? I said, I'm not going to teach my children anything with words. I'm going to live my life in a way that will teach a lesson to my children.
Beautiful, beautiful. That is how a mother should be. Exactly. Beautiful, ma'am.
I
Beautiful.
sacrificed enough for my children,
Yes.
but not by telling them that I sacrificed. They know that my mom is an actor, but she sat at home for 15 years. They saw that. And then they also know that when it was time for me to work, my children tell me, Mama, please work. We like it when you work.
Wow.
So you don't tell your children what to do. You do what you have to do. And in the right time, they all absorb and they pick up things.
Beautiful. That was a great thing that you concentrated on their upbringing. So that's the reason why they have become your best friends.
Yes, they are my best friends.
Yes. Okay. What exactly, in your eyes, is to empower a woman? How can we educate the other gender to not go for child sexual abuse? Because it's happening in both the genders. It is a common thing. Even the child, the boy child and the girl child, they both are harmed in this equally. So who exactly needs to be educated? Because this is something I have been wanting to talk to somebody, and you are one fit person for that. I'm very sure about it. So, yes, because this is worrying me as a mother. And there are several platforms. There are people who are discussing about this. But what exactly needs to be done? We are just stopping with, majority of us are just stopping with this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the term women's empowerment. I love women, and I want all the girls, and I'm very proud I'm a woman, and I'm very proud I'm a mother of women, girls.
Yes.
But I don't like the term women's empowerment because it just shows the state of our society today.
Yes.
That we have to empower women. Why do we have to empower women? Why are we fighting our men? I mean, men are so human beings, which is the yin and yang. Man and women are men and women are human beings.
Yes.
What is this thing? We have to empower mankind. We have to empower human beings.
Yes.
We should not be in that place where we are focusing on women and empowering women. Because what we are doing here is we are saying that we have to fight men. That is called women's empowerment. Basically, we are fighting for our rights. We are fighting for equality. We are fighting for safety. But what are we fighting? Who are we fighting? We are not fighting the tigers. We are not fighting, we are fighting men.
Yes.
Without men, there is no women. Just like without women, there are no men. So we are fighting our own self.
Yes.
It's like, we are fighting the other half of our own being. Therefore, I don't like this term women's empowerment.
Correct.
But I understand it's come to a point where we are talking about it, and I'm very urban. So even my information is all coming from my urban lifestyle, and I'm very aware of what's happening in the urban society.
Okay.
People tell me that I can't even imagine what is going on in the rural areas, the way the women are treated, and what possibilities are available to them. They say you are so modern, you're so urban, that you can't even connect with what is happening in certain societies of our world.
Right.
That being so, I'm very sad that is where we are at. That men are fighting women, or women have to fight men, and it's heinous crimes.
Yes.
I sometimes think the crimes, whatever are committed against women or children of any gender, it's a human being. You know, when you walk in the forest and you're attacked by an animal like a lion or a tiger, you know that you're shredded to pieces and you're eaten, or whatever. But to believe that another human being with a conscience, you're supposed to, I find myself that I can't even swat a mosquito which is sitting on me. I find myself to step on an ant is a problem for me. I'm like, oh my God, I stepped on this insect that was crawling on my. So when a conscience like that also exists, what happens to what are those people who are doing this to another human being? And therefore, it really breaks my heart. But I do understand that we are all standing for women's empowerment.
Yes.
So it comes from awareness. And I think we need not just awareness, I think we all need a spiritual revolution.
Yes.
We need to have a spiritual revolution. And every mother of a boy I think when the boy children's mother has a greater responsibility than a mother of a daughter in a women's empowerment. In women's empowerment, I think men have a greater role to play. They have to be empowered or taught spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. And that is a role that you cannot teach a 20-year-old boy, or it has to be taught when a boy is born. So it's a great responsibility of all those mothers who've given birth to boys what is women's empowerment. They have to teach their boys that how they have to treat or look after girls, sisters, wives, neighbors' wives, or whoever. Women have to be looked up with tenderness and love and respect because they are not the weaker sex. They are just one. It's just that God has made a man and woman with a different role, and the role does not make a woman a weaker sex. The way it all started, that you nurture, you take care of progeny, and somebody goes and brings the bread. So, it's just a role to keep a community going. It doesn't make, so therefore men have been given stronger muscles. Their musculature is devised in such a way that he plays the role that has been assigned to him. And the women's musculature or the body is designed in a way, so she plays the role in this creation or in creativity. And you have to live together. It doesn't make one strong and weak. So men have to be taught that don't do this. And I don't know how it can be taught. A lot of punishments have been, established. The law is coming into, but it's not changing anything. So it is not the law. Of course, the law helps to a certain level, I think. Strong, and the law has to be also carried out. It should not just be at a level where it is, just designed, and it has to be also implemented. But I think more than that, I think everybody needs a spiritual lesson and an awareness. And all I can do is that pray that wisdom downloads into every human being, that every human being learns to respect the other as a human being and not as a man or a woman. And therefore, I don't like, because it's very divisive. When you say women's empowerment, it's very divisive. And we have to try to create a united world in, unity, and not separate the man and woman and just support women. I want to, keep it together. But I support girls. I want them to emerge in their, with fearlessly. So I talk for them. But it is basically, my voice is going out to every man out there. That don't be an animal, because you're not. You're actually a human being. It's a role. You play your role. And let women play their role and exist and coexist. Exist in cooperation. And not in competition and, this whole thing that I am better than you, I need equality in pay. It's come to that. So it should just be a natural thing that everything is equal, depending on the role you play. Why? Firstly, why are we always fighting? Today, the universe has just got an energy of conflict and fighting. We should all learn to. I think it's time for people like Rumi and poets, and today our world is being ruled by head. It's all the numbers and maths. I think the heart has to come into play and dominate a little bit more. Maybe we need a little bit more of poetry and laughing and love. And I think the world will balance itself out.
Correct, ma'am. It all begins with ourselves, within our inner self. That once you start respecting yourself and you understand the purpose of your life, as you are not an animal, but you are having a beautiful purpose, and God has given you a lovely opportunity, you will start respecting yourself and the society around you. Beautiful, ma'am. Okay. So it was great having you here, ma'am. Wominspiria wishes you a lot of luck and all the best wishes for your future endeavors. And may your services continue just the way you're doing right now. It was great having you here, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Revati. I really enjoyed myself talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So much of self-driven energy and inspiration. Isn't this the kind of motivation that you need every day? I definitely got my dose of inspiration for the day, and I love talking to Madhoo ma'am. Please let me know how you felt about today's episode in my email ID, that is wominspiria@gmail.com. And also, if you want your story to be featured in Wominspiria, you can send me an email in the same. The spelling goes by wominspiria@gmail.com. Wominspiria pages can be found in LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Wominspiria podcast is also available in Tamil, where you can listen to inspirational stories in Tamil. Apart from that, I have a podcast called Shashu and Amma, where I converse with my little child about all the curious things under the sun. That can be found in all the podcast platforms. So until then, this is Revati signing off from Wominspiria, contagiously inspiring. There is inspiration everywhere around you. Please keep finding it. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.